Once again, happy lunch hour, everyone. It is crazy to see we are already in month March 1st. Happy March 1st, everyone. Thank you so much once again for joining our discussion series. And if you're returning back, welcome back. If you're new, so good to have you today in today's session. My name is Farah Naz, and I am the Outreach Coordinator for Recognition Counts at Seed Winnipeg. As Recognition Counts, we do help internationally educated professions to get their credentials recognized by providing financial consultation as well as loan of up to $15,000. And if you are one of them, do please reach either me or my awesome colleague here, Jeff, who is co-hosting me today in today's session. And Jeff is the loan coordinator for Recognition Counts. We are going to continue our discussion about credit cards today. And if you have missed participating our last few sessions, please visit Seed Winnipeg Facebook page, as they are all recorded and they are saved there. My colleague Jeff will also drop those links on the chat at Zoom if you have joined us via Zoom. So you can just click on it and look at those videos from there. It's easy. Again, the session will be informative and interactive, where I will provide information about types of credit cards I got from the Financial Consumer Agency of Canada, and Jeff will share his perspective based on his previous work experience working at financial industries for many, many years. So he is super knowledgeable about these. So let's begin our today's session with land acknowledgement first. And I'm going to read it. Seed respectfully acknowledges that we live and work on the territories and homeland of Indigenous peoples, and that the land and water sustain us. We respect the treaties as intended by Indigenous peoples. It is our responsibility to understand the truth of our history, be aware of the present, and work with Indigenous peoples to make positive changes for the future. Thank you very much for reflecting with us. And I, as a newcomer, it's very important for me to understand this, and also my responsibility again to acknowledge this amazing land. Last time we discussed about credit cards, interest rate, fees and penalties, rewards and benefits. So in today's discussion, we are going to discuss about a few examples about the rewards and benefits of credit cards. And we are going to use credit card comparison tool to see different types of credit card that exist, what kind of benefits they do have, what are their characteristics, and many more points on that. And if we do have time, we will also look into credit card payment calculator, which is going to be very important regarding what is the best option, best way for me to cover the payment of my credit cards. And last session, we did discuss about this grocery rewards credit card example. Also we discussed about credit card rewards and benefits. So to briefly summarize it again, I am not gonna discuss about it. I'm not gonna take longer time to discuss about it, but if you have missed it, please do go back and look at it on Seed Winnipeg Facebook. So briefly, as to summarize it, is a rewards card allows us to actually earn discounts on products and services, or get cash back or receive points when we use the card to purchase goods and services. And the credit cards, they have different kinds of benefits and rewards, such as like travel insurance or car rental insurance. So those are just like few examples I just gave you. But through these examples that we're gonna go and look into it, we're gonna learn further about different types of benefits and rewards that exist. Also, keep in mind that credit cards, which come with so many benefits and rewards, they may have some sort of fees. That fee is an annual fee. So those things we are also going to cover it with in these examples we're going to discuss with. And it is very important to keep certain aspects in mind before choosing the type of credit card, as again, we went over it last time. Again, go back to our Facebook group and look into it. So this example that we talked about, it was actually about this grocery, the credit card that had benefit of receiving points, certain points if you purchase certain amount of money. And it had an annual of $25 per year. And at the end, it seemed we saved like $15. We received a total benefit of $15, which seemed it was a worthwhile credit card in this kind of situation. The next example is, in this example, this is a cashback rewards MasterCard. And in this example, let's assume that your credit card has an annual fee of $85, and you get a 1% cashback on purchase. So how do I calculate this 1%? So let's say you are going to go to grocery and do a purchase of $100. I'm just giving you as an example of random numbers, especially I'm using the easy numbers to just make it simple to understand actually. So we purchase something for $100, or we purchase our groceries, which end up being $100. So 1% cash back on that 100 that we purchased is 1% is 0.01. You multiply that by 100, that gives us a $1 that will be on the side of my statement that will be paid back at the end of my statement when I have to be paying those balance back. So in a year, you are going to make 4,800 worth of purchases using your credit card. So that means, again, this $4,800 will be times by 1%, which is 0.01%. And how did I get that? Is just divide 1 by 100, because this person is $100. 100, I mean. So 1 divided 100 gives me 0.01, and that times by 4,800, that gives us $48. So that at the end of the year, we will receive $48 back. But keep in mind, we paid $85 annual fee at the beginning of the year. So this 85 is way higher than this $48 that we received. So that means, like, if we subtract $85 from $85 minus $48, we will be left with $37, which means we paid $37 extra than what we use, than the rewards or benefits we have received. So in this instance, it might not be the best option. Let's say instead of $4,800, let's say you use $10,000. Again, $10,000 will be multiplied by 1%. That will give us $100, and $100 minus $85, that will end up equal to around $15, which means that I saved $15. In that sense, it might be worthwhile to have this kind of like MasterCard or credit card. Another example is for those individuals who love traveling and would love renting a car when they are traveling. And nowadays it seems like renting a car when they are in certain places is more popular if there is not good transportation. And it seems like it's cheaper instead of Ubering or getting taxi. Usually I personally like when I travel, especially if I want to visit a new place, I personally like to walk. That's very economical for me, or use the transits, buses. That way I learn a lot about the community, get to talk with a lot of new individuals, and get to see my around more often than if I just rent a car. However, we are all different. We prefer different things. So in this case, let's say your credit card has a $110 annual fee. So your credit card offers car rental insurance for up to 7 days each year. You rent a car for 7 days, the rental agency charges you $20 a day for car insurance. So if you didn't have this credit card, then you would have paid $20 per day wherever you traveled for that 7 days. And that's 7 times 20, you would have paid $140 for renting your car and getting that insurance. So if you compare that $110 with $140, you will be saving $30 there. So in this case, if you know that you will be traveling around and you'll be renting a car, in this case, this card will be best option for your situation. So again, looking back, cards have different kinds of rewards, different kinds of benefits. And again, they really depends on what you and what is best in your situation, what kind of benefits you need, what kind of benefits will be worthwhile for you. And certain cards actually may have just points. And actually, it is not about the points or these benefits that's providing us, but it's about how much value we are getting from these kind of rewards or benefits that's providing us. Again, everyone's situations is different. And if you need to look into any of these cards and you wanted to receive any of them, we highly recommend you to look into the details first and talk about it with your financial advisor. Discuss about your situation. See which one is the best. They can even use like different types of comparison tool in order to give you a best option. Actually, the other day I was looking at, I just randomly opened my window and I needed to do some research. And suddenly, MBNA TrueLine MasterCard popped out on my page, and it was quite like attracted my eye. The first instance when I saw it, the reason it's like it gives a very attractive welcome offer of saying you could get a 0% promotional annual interest rate for 12 months on balance transfers completed within 90 days of account. I'm like, okay, so this kind of like credit card or MBNA TrueLine MasterCard, it's not going to charge any sort of interest. But there is also a fine line to keep in mind that the offer will end in 12 months. So it is not going to be forever. So I'm going to go ahead quickly. What I'm going to do is actually I'm going to go to the website so we can look into it in depth. Let's see if I can. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. All right, so here we are on the website. And I looked into it and in depth, and I sound like, what are the benefits? So I look like, okay, yeah, this is very attractive, 0% annual interest, which for 12 months. So meaning like every month is not going to charge me any interest on, so whatever balance I'm gonna transfer. But I went in ahead and I looked further. If this promotional welcome offer ends, which is in 12 months, what would be the interest rate? We've seen the interest rate is going to increase up to 13, almost 13%. And here's 12.99%, which is kind of similar to most MasterCard or credit cards that exist there. And I saw more into it. I'm like, what other benefits it's gonna offer me? Says like the low rate, which the rate is quite low. Usually the regular MasterCards or like credit cards, but they are also rewards points and stuff. They are different. It's 19.99%, but this is low rate interest. And this is really good for individuals who know they won't be able to pay their statement by the due date. And they are gonna transfer their outstanding balance forward in the next month. And another benefit, it has no annual fee. And of course, like the privacy and security, it's usually every financial industry will make sure that they are secured and keep all your information private and everything. And some of these are the same as any other credit cards or other MasterCards that exist there. And I went ahead and I looked at the additional benefits. I was like, what are other benefits that it's going to offer me? And I saw like MBNIC, it can save up to 10% off of the base rate for renting a car. And again, they have a specific agency that we have to use. So this was another one, like it is good for those individuals who has an outstanding balance on their credit card, not one, many, and they wanted to consolidate all in one. And they know that, and they wanted to do only one payment per month instead of paying many credit cards per month. So if you consolidate in one, and also for those who knows that they are going to pay everything within 12 months, because after 12 months, this offer is going to end and the interest rate is going to go to 12.99%. And whatever balance you will be having there, you have to be paying that interest after 12 months. All right, and I'm going to go quickly share my other the credit card comparison tool from FCAC that we discussed about, just we wanted to discuss. Before I do that, I will just let the floor open to Jeff if Jeff would like to share anything while I'm getting to my sharing my other screen here.
Yeah, no, nothing to add, and we can see your screen, so
Perfect.
carry on.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm always happy to have you there, and I'm not sure if my screen is shared, not shared, so thank you. So what I did, I just went to Google, I searched Financial Consumer Agency of Canada, and this page comes. Once you scroll down, there is a button that says debt and borrowing. Click on debt and borrowing. And I kept scrolling down, and there is another button that's called credit cards. And scroll down, that's where all the information is, and I have received all these information from. So I will be clicking right now on credit card comparison tool, but if we had time, we are also going to go on credit card payment calculator, which I found it super useful. So for now, we are going to do a credit card comparison. And it will take us to this side. It will ask us few questions that this tool would like to know us a little bit before recommending any sort of credit card or MasterCard that would be best for us. It's asking what province. Let's say we are in Manitoba, and I usually do all my purchases in Canadian dollars. So let's say I use, let's choose Canadian dollar for now. And are you looking for a credit card with a low purchase interest rate? In this example, I would say like, I always use my credit card based on what money I have on my checking account. So if I can afford certain amount, thinking of my checking account, I use my credit card. So that's how I keep track of my budget. So I'm like, on the payday, I don't transfer any balance to next month. So I'm like, no, I don't need any sort of low interest rate type of credit card or MasterCard, because I always pay it on time and I'm never late on that. And I know that I don't overuse it, especially I don't go over 60% of my credit card limit. So I say no. Now let's search it. And if you scroll down, you will get a lot of different options in here. On this first screen, actually there are 93 results that it matches with the information I provided and what would be best for my situation. So this Jordan's Flexi Visa, this is the first example that they are giving me. And actually on this page, you can see a lot of different examples, but they don't provide a lot of information. That all these say that no annual fee, the interest rate, and in what kind of currency. And it seems like most of them are like, they are all actually different in interest rates. Some of them are similar, like Diamond North Credit Union is 12.99% with MBNA Trueline, which we just saw it, and Classic MasterCard, but the other ones are like 19.7%. So it's very different. For me personally, right now in this case, I got more attracted to the first example. So I will just go ahead and view details and so I can learn more. Once I click on this page also gives me a brief summary of this kind of credit card. Again, the name of it, the currency, the annual fee, the interest rate. So foreign conversion fee, meaning that let's say I travel outside of Canada and I need to purchase something and I use my credit card, they are going to charge me a 2.5% of fee for whatever I purchased. And minimum income required. Certain credit card and MasterCards require, especially if it's a premium type, require you to have an income that they make sure that you can afford to have this kind of credit card. But for this one, there is no requirement, and it also provides certain benefits. We are going to go, let's look into it in depth. On their website, because I'm interested to learn more what kind of benefits they are going to offer. So Flexi Visa, there's no annual fee with a low interest rate, 10.9%, no annual fee, and there is actually travel insurance for trips of up to 3 days. So that's very I'm like, okay, I usually travel and I usually go less than 3 days. What are those insurance include? So if I in here, when I opened it, it provides more briefer information to just at a glance, like emergency healthcare coverage, 5 million per person. But keep in mind, these informations are briefly mentioned. It's always important before signing up on anything, go to the in-depth detailed information before signing it. Ask questions before signing on it. And then you'll see if it's worth it, you can continue applying for it. Or you can look into a different option, whichever works best for you. So again, it's important to look into the fine prints there. I'm not sure if my screen is still showing, but
You're sharing your whole desktop right now.
Okay. How about now? It's just, I believe, the FCAC website.
You're still sharing your whole desktop, but we can see the tab on the internet that you're looking at.
Perfect. Okay. All right, so that was one example.
Fairness. Sorry
yes.
to interrupt. Just before we go too much further, you mentioned before that search result returned 93 results, which is a very large number and probably overwhelming and too many options for a person to really consider. How can a person narrow down those choices a little bit further?
So go ahead and do change search options and do show more optional filters. So it will ask you more questions in here. If you wanted to narrow down and get more options than 93, which may be overwhelming, instead, once you can just click on the show fewer more filters, and based on this, it's gonna give you more options. It will narrow down your options. So for instance, what kind of how about I ask you a few questions, Jeff, and you answer me which one you prefer, as an example.
Sounds great.
What province or territory do you live?
Manitoba.
What kind of currency would you like?
I think Canadian makes sense. I mean, there might be some instances where someone might need a dedicated US dollar credit card, but that's usually folks that are frequently spending money in US dollars and want to avoid the conversion fees going from Canadian to US dollars. But US dollar credit cards also usually tend to have an annual fee. So it has to be worth your while. You have to be using it enough to make it a significant enough financial difference for it to be worthwhile for you. So let's stick with Canadian for now, because I think that's going to be most people's circumstance.
And are you looking for a credit card with a low purchase interest rate, or does it matter for you?
I think let's choose yes this time, just to see how it might narrow things down. Because I'm like you personally, I try to pay off my credit card balance every month too, because I don't want to pay the interest charges on it. But not everybody is able to do that. And so if you're carrying a balance from month to month, then having a low interest rate is probably going to be important to you.
And what kind of rewards is more attractive to you? Are you more of a cashback MasterCard kind of person? You're like to use those rewards for traveling, groceries, gas, or general merchandise?
I
All
like
of them.
I like flexibility, and cash provides the ultimate flexibility. So that's usually my go-to choice. But I have noticed that over the last couple of years that cashback rewards cards are changing the way that they pay the cash back to the credit card user. So for example, the credit card that I have right now, I used to get 3 points for every dollar that I spent on anything, groceries, gas, merchandise, anything like that. But over the last 2 years, that program's changed, and now I only get 2 points for every dollar that I spend on everything, but I get 3 points per dollar on other things like groceries or gas. I forget exactly what, because I don't pay super close attention to that, to be honest. So what I'm trying to say though is that if you tend to use your credit card for certain purchases only, for example, travel or groceries or gas, then that might be important to you and you might want to select those specific options. But I think for us, for this example, let's stick with cashback.
Okay. And what is the maximum annual fee you're willing to pay for that?
What are the options? So yeah, okay, so that's a wide range, $0 to $200. Let's say zero. I'm not willing to pay anything. Yeah. Let's see what I can get for nothing.
Sounds great. And how about the interest rate? Is that really important?
It's not no, it's not. But the standard interest rate, as you correctly noted earlier, Farnaz, is around 20%. So let's stick with that.
And what is the maximum cash advance you would interest rate that you would be willing to pay on that?
This one's not important to me at all, because I would never take I would never do cash back out of a credit card unless it was my only option.
And how about the maximum balance transfer interest rate you'll be willing to pay on that credit card?
Let's go with the lowest. Let's just say 5, just to see what it says, because I think that if you are carrying a balance from month to month, then having options for balance transfer is one way to save money on the interest cost of carrying that debt.
And any specific bank or credit union that you're interested in?
No, let's keep it open. Keep that one open.
And are you a student?
No.
Are you looking for a secured card?
No, a secured card would be for folks that haven't built a credit history yet and need to put the money up front, pledge the money up front as collateral. Okay, look at this. So we got 2 results. We've narrowed it down from 93 to 2. So that's going to make my decision-making process way easier, easier.
And then it's easier for you to look at both. Just click on their website and then look at more the benefits, rewards, and insurance terms and conditions, what offers they have, and then put them side to side and see which one resonates the most to you, or which one is most attractive to you. Then exactly. Choose one.
That's one of the best features of the FCAC website there, is that it links directly to the credit card provider's website, so you can get the exact information that you need right down to a very, very granular level of detail, which is important to know to understand the benefits and the costs of the credit card that you want to apply for.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Jeff. I think I'm a little bit over.
No, we're right at 12:30.
Give me a heads up 5 minutes before, but do we have any question that we can answer before we wrap up today's discussion series?
No questions in the chat yet, but Kang, just wondering if you have any questions. If you do, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question, or put it in the chat if you'd like to ask a question.
Mhm.
And if not, that's okay too. Just want to provide the opportunity.
Perfect. So if we don't have any question, thank you for joining us. If you